fiber optic technology, and they're having a tough time. So we know that they're going to have a tough time, and we believe we have the IP, we have the expertise. We're way ahead of any of those companies and the technology that they're using. Yeah. Basically, that was the microseismic market only, and that was in the U.S. Every year, yes. And it's been higher. In other words, it's been as high as 35,000. Now it's a little lower because gas prices are a little low, so they're shifting a little bit towards oil, maybe some of the wet gas. But when the price starts coming up, it's going to get back up there in the 20,000 plus. You say existing wells? Conventional. Conventional. You mean like conventional oil and gas wells? Well, once it's fracked, right, and it, they have, you've seen those frack jobs. They have all those trucks show up with all those tanks and all that stuff, and it takes up like an acre of stuff, and they're drilling and pumping and all that. After about 90 days, they're done. They put a little cap over the thing, and the thing is about the size of, maybe one of these tables with a little fence around it and a pipe going out, and it just sits there for 20 years. So unless they at some point decide we're going to go in and refrac, there's really nothing to monitor. But one of the things that we do think they should do is we think they should leave a string of our sensors along the wellbore so that they could check for gas migration, which is leakage along the wellbore, periodically in the life of it. Simple process, you shut in the well, listen. If you hear some noise, obviously something's leaking, right? Because you shut the well in, there shouldn't be anything coming through. But the beauty of it with fiber optics, the cost of leaving something there, fiber optic system in a well is like nothing. And so, yeah, so we would think they'd want to leave a system like that in the well. Yes. Okay. Yeah, it's a 3%. Well, I mean, I dispute a little bit in that the people aren't in a hurry. Oh, no, I didn't. Yeah, but they don't want to spend the $5 million. They want to spend like what we're saying. But I'll give you an example. Is our inability to be able to get the first system to these first clients limits the speed where they're going to do another order. One of the companies we're dealing with says, you know what, you give me that first one, as soon as you get it to me, I'm going to order a dozen more. And I expect to order on the order of a couple hundred systems over the next 12 months. Well, that's just one company. So it's up to us to be able to produce at that rate. And that's what we're trying to get set up to do. And it's a balancing act because I keep saying, John, I don't want to get too far ahead, right? You start building up this big infrastructure, and the order doesn't come for, a while. You're paying for it, right? So we're trying to walk that fine line and that, be ready for the orders and not build up a really big burn rate that, until we get, sizable orders. Right. Wells a year. Oh, exactly. In other words, you could do on the order of you know, every once a quarter or so with the array, maybe a little more, but 3 or 4 surveys a year with the equipment. Today's interrogator, tomorrow's interrogator, the percentage cost will be a lot less. Plus in the United States, and double that if you say internationally. Yeah. Can't what now? Oh. Oh, they could drill. The drilling part, oh yes. The from start to finish, the fracking to walk away is on the order of 90 days. So you drill, you frack, and then you close up shop and seal it all up and go. So, you know, the drilling, you know, is definitely under a month. For us, we believe for our product line, it's going to be the fastest growing for us because, you know, we made a decision a couple years ago. Originally, our focus was 4D seismic. We said, you know, permanent monitoring. But then we started having clients coming to us and say, you know what, we want to do this. And after several of them said this to us, we started really looking into it. And we said, yeah, we agree. This is, you know, because the systems, you know, for microseismic monitoring, you typically might need on the order of, when I say levels, it's a 3-component sensor pod, probably on the order of an array you put in the ground might be 15 levels, and you need on the order of 5 of them for a monitoring system. So somewhere in the order of, say, you know, 80 to 100 levels for monitoring. 4D, you're talking, you know, like for example, they did this in Valhalla field where they put these sensors in there. They had on your a couple hundred kilometers worth of sensors, you know, 10,000 plus. These systems are huge, and we felt the beauty of microseismic is we can answer the mail on these small systems today. Let's get in the door and sell a lot of these, and then years from now, if we want to do these 4D seismic, which eventually is going to come along, we could do that. So it also, I guess you'd say, the microseismic more fits our ability right now to be able to produce systems. We expect to have that sometime in Q3, initial prototypes. Yeah. Teams in place are already working on it. And the beauty of it is they were the team that actually invented it in the first place. So, names are on the patents already. So, yes? You know, we believe eventually we'll be selling to the service companies, but we're getting a lot of interest from the oil companies. I'll give you an example. Saudi Aramco came to us, you know, and they wanted to do some massive monitoring on a field in Saudi Arabia. And so we talked to them quite a bit about, you know, how we design it, talked with their engineers. And then finally, you know, I said, okay, now, have you guys ever operated in Saudi Arabia? We go, of course not. You know, they go, oh, well, this is what we're going to do. We're going to call our service company and have them take care of this so that they'll deal with you. And we go, okay, fine. Well, their service company's Halliburton, right? So we get a call from Halliburton. Saudi Aramco says they want us to deal with you, put the system in their field. So we go, okay. And so Yeah, we eventually maybe develop the initial relationships with the end users, but they're not going to be the real customers. They will refer us to their typical service companies because we're not going to do all that stuff. We're going to sell equipment. And so there has to be a service company involved in that. All levels. I mean, like we said, we're doing this with a major oil company right now. We're going to do this test where they're trying to figure out, you know, what depth can we put these systems in, because we want to put these, we want to monitor all these wells, all these frac jobs, but we'd rather do it from shallow wells because they're cheaper. You know, it depends. You know, there are some of these companies that don't care. I mean, like, for example, we have on your 3 or 4, 5 maybe contracts. A couple of the companies we're building OEM product for them. They don't want us to mention their name. They're going to put their own name on it, right? So it depends, right? And other people don't seem to care. A lot of the oil companies are fairly open. You know, they, you know, eventually, you know, they'll try it out, they'll prove something out, then they'll send it over to the service company to engage with us to do more. So it depends a lot of times on the customer. Any other questions? It is perfect, isn't it? Like 11:30, and there it is. Like unbelievable. Well, thank you very much. And John, do you want to say a couple words? Okay.
Just in conclusion, I'd like to thank everybody for attending. And you know, when we consider the groundbreaking events that have happened to create shareholder value at Acorn, we consider, you know, first and foremost the acquisition of U.S. Seismic as being the most important event for creating shareholder value. Second was selling Cologix for 5 times revenue to Energy Capital Partners. And third, we considered the acquisition of the license from Northrop Grumman for the Interrogator product the third most important thing that's happened to the company. So we're really excited that Jim's able to come and that you're all able to come and listen and talk to him and tour the facility. And we're very excited to have one of our customers here today and look forward to further questions and discussions. Thank you very much.